Hello, everyone, and welcome to Aspire. My name is Nader Daywood. I am the lead coach and co-owner at Aspire Career Services. I am very, very happy that you are checking out the Aspire Hub through your subscription. Today's subject is about something that gets all of us nervous sometimes, gets most of us worried sometimes, and sometimes we feel afraid to do it. And yes, you're right, it is about public speaking and presentation skills. Now, throughout this class right here, the purpose that we want to present this class to you is because we know how important public speaking and presentation skills are. We know what kind of impact it's going to have on your career and on your promotions and on your current job right now, whether you are a supervisor or whether you are an employee starting their job or their career somewhere, we know that this is going to be a very, very impactful and a very valuable subject to talk about today. So let's jump right in right here. And just to tell you a little bit of introduction about the class, I want to give you an outline. The outline of what we're going to talk about today is why it matters, why public speaking and presentation skills matters in the workplace, overcoming your fear to do it, how to prepare well for it. Structuring your presentation is another thing that we're going to talk about. Is what components should be in there, or mostly a framework of what components should be in there. Your delivery techniques to that presentation or that public speech that you are going to give, and some visual aids that you can use. So, with that being said, let's talk about the first item right here, which is why it matters. Why does public speaking or presentation skill matters? First of all, when you are a good public speaker or someone that can deliver presentations, you're not just doing your job or trying to relay a message. You're personally branding yourself inside the workplace. So, for example, if your manager asks you to do a presentation on a certain product or on a certain service or for a certain team building activity, uh, your manager definitely monitors that activity and forms an opinion, an idea about you as a presenter or as an employee. So it's a form of personal branding for sure. Also, it's for career advancement because if you want to be in any leadership position in the future or in the current tense, you need to learn how to present and you need to learn how to publicly speak, especially if you're going to be talking to teams. Also, presentation skills is another form of effective communication. Sometimes you want to relay a message to a large group of people, and the only way to do it is through a presentation or through a public speech. Another one is a confidence builder. People start out presenting or publicly speaking, not really having the full confidence in themselves, but the confidence builds by time. And this is what presentation skills do for you. And then the last one is team building. It matters for team building because, again, if you're a supervisor or going to be a future supervisor, it is very important to relay certain messages to a group of people, which is your team. And that will be through the team building activities or team building presentations that you are going to deliver. So that's why we think it matters. And stay tuned for the next part right here. We go into overcoming fear. And this is a huge subject to talk about for sure because not every single person right here knows how to present or even have the courage to present in front of 5, 10, 15, 20 people, not to mention a room full of 50 or 100 people where you have to give a public speech. So, how to overcome that fear of appearing in front of people and presenting something or speaking about something? The first thing that I'm going to tell you right here is to prepare very well. Part of your fear is that you feel like you're not prepared enough. You haven't practiced enough what you're going to say or what you're going to present. Also, this might sound a little bit silly, but really, some breathing exercises are going to help you with how anxious you feel or how nervous you feel before you actually about to hit the stage, and then you feel that stage fright, or you feel like, no, I don't want to go in front of all these people and talk really. Some breathing exercises can help you a lot in overcoming that fear. Also, this is a very, very important point, which is focusing on material, not audience. When we focus on people, we really lose focus on what we are saying. The most important thing about that presentation or public speech is the material. It is not the people that you are presenting in front of. How well the material is built, how well you're prepared, and how organized you are. Which brings me to the fourth point, which is staying organized. Organizing your speech or organizing your presentation is something essential for the success of your presentation or your public speech. So if you stay organized, stay on the outline, you will definitely overcome that fear as well. On the next point, I want to talk to you guys about preparation and how to prepare for a presentation or how to prepare for a public speech. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is know your audience, because that is going to be differentiate between the types of presentations that you're going to do. If you're presenting to your team is a story. If you're presenting to board members, that's a whole different story. So it's very, very important to know what your audience are, what kind of message that you're trying to relay. Secondly, the content planning. You have to define the purpose or outline the key points, gather supporting materials to whatever you're trying to relay out there. Just like we did at the beginning of this training or this class right here, is I gave you an outline to the class. Now you will do the same thing for your presentation or your public speech that you're going to do. And lastly, practice. And a lot of people really, skip over that step, which is practicing your presentation in front of live audience or your public speech in front of live audience. We get so uncomfortable with role play, and we get so uncomfortable presenting to just one person to kind of practice what we have put together. But just imagine if you're feeling uncomfortable in front of one person, how is it going to feel in front of 50 people or 100 people? So, better to overcome that feeling by practicing with live people multiple times. On the next section right here, we are going to go over structuring your presentation, what your presentation should consist of. And the first thing is you have to have an introduction to your presentation. State your purpose, preview main points, just like we did right now. I told you what the purpose of this presentation is to help you with presentation skills and public speech. Now, I also gave you an outline of the main points that we're going to be discussing today, and that's the exact same thing that should be inside your introduction. The second thing is the body of the presentation itself. You have to organize your points, use examples and data, and transition between slides smoothly or transition between information smoothly. And you can really do that by staying on point, by staying on top of what you have organized. Some people like to carry index cards, some people like to have a separate screen right next to them to help them with following the points. The point here is to stay organized, use examples and data to transition smoothly between the messages that you're trying to relay out. And then lastly is the conclusion. You got to summarize your key points, reinforce the message, and call for action. Things like if you're presenting on getting to higher performances, and then at the end of the presentation, you do not summarize what you have said and reinforce the message that you're trying to put out there, and then call everyone on your team to action to let's grow this number of accounts or let's grow this number of business, then you don't have a conclusion to your presentation. That's really simply how you structure it. And that's only a framework. You are free to do whatever you want inside that framework, what introduction you're going to have, what is going to be in the body of the presentation, and what would be the conclusion that will be left to you. Next, we're going to talk about some delivery techniques. And this might be, or we might jump into a little bit of technicalities right here, but I think it's also very important for you to know that your voice is also very important. Varying your pitch and pace is something that will strike interest, that will keep interest in whatever you're saying. For an example, you've probably have tried to present before, or you have witnessed someone trying to present before, and you voiced a concern about their monotone. Or you have seen it as like they sounded like they're just reading out of a piece of paper or out of some index cards. That's a sign of not preparing well for the presentation. That way, they just want to go through it as quickly as possible. So, controlling your voice and practicing your voice to be different or vary your pitch and pace is something also very important when you're presenting. The next thing is the body language. If you're presenting with a closed body language, and by a closed body language, I mean if you're really not interested in what you're saying and you're really just being, of course, you're serious about the subject, but of course, you're just looking at everybody with just a serious face, not open enough for discussion, then definitely everybody's going to start shutting down and not listening to what you have to present. So make sure that you maintain eye contact. Make sure that you're using gestures as well. Um, and the last thing that I will tell you right here is the engagement. You want to keep everyone engaged inside your presentation. Now, the more engaged the people are or the audience are to what you're saying, the more that they are listening to it and the message is going across. So, if you keep them engaged by asking them questions, responding to a feedback that they might have, allowing them to share their experiences or testimonials or similar situations that they have been in before, that will definitely keep it engaging for you. And those kind of like are some of the techniques that you can use for presentations right here. And hopefully that's going to be impactful and useful for you. And then next, we are going to go over the last item on our training today, which is visual aids and what to use on your presentation, really. Of course, you use slides. A lot of people right now use PowerPoint, have always been using PowerPoint. There's also some other softwares to use, like Adobe Spark, like Canva. All of these softwares use slides. You can use props. You can use videos to enhance your message. Something that is relatable to what the people are listening to on your presentation definitely strikes a lot of visual aid right here. Another advice is to keep the design simple. A lot of, we call it the presentation headache on your screen causes people to get a lot distracted, and again they might not listen to what you have to say. So it's very important to keep things simple, keep your design simple. Also, use high quality images. And I know that you guys have witnessed some presentations before happening where someone will pull an image off Google and just attach it to the PowerPoint, and that image is not really looking professional. And at the same time, some pixelated or really bad kind of resolution or quality image. So make sure to use high quality images. It strikes more professionalism, and it shows that you're a high quality presenter as well. And then lastly, I will tell you, just limit the text. When you put too much information on the screen for people to read, you will lose their focus and concentration on what you have to say. So if you just mention the key points on your presentation or speech material, it will definitely be much better to capture the attention of the audience and relay your message in a more clearer way. That was presentation skills and public speech for you guys. Hopefully, this was impactful for you. Thank you again for visiting the Aspire Hub, and thank you for using your subscription right here. Please tell your friends as well to join us. We would love to have everyone join Aspire. And thank you guys very much. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.